You know, there truly are a whole lot of good people here in Tennessee, people who are working really hard to bring us into the 21st century and bring us into modern times. But at the same time, we got a whole lot of people kicking against it. And sometimes when they get the microphone, they're really loud and they're really obnoxious. And they're truly an embarrassment to the state of Tennessee. And that could definitely be said with Representative Brian Richey, who tried to make a joke about what DEI really means. Take a look at this.
You hear DEI, my son coined it best probably. He said all that is didn't earn it, is what it stands for. But
Okay, I'm sorry. I was having a discussion with legal. Representative Richie, I'm sorry. I wasn't. What? Okay. Let's stay on the subject then. Okay. Representative Richie, you may continue, but let's stay on the
Now, DEI stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion, something the Republican Party has none of, nor do they welcome it. As a matter of fact, they try to push it away at every chance they get, and they make racist jokes like that because they know that that type of rhetoric will resonate with their base. And it's absolute bullshit. And it's insulting to everyone involved because so many people will hear him say that. They'll think it's funny. They'll think it's clever. They'll go out and put it on a t-shirt. They'll go out and put it on a bumper sticker, and they'll all go around saying it. And a lot of the people who will make that joke and go around saying it are people themselves who are white and on some sort of government assistance. Well, let me say and make this perfectly clear. I am not against anyone out there being on government assistance. I have no problem with someone, you fall on hard times or you're unable to work, you find a program that will help you. I don't have a problem with that at all. I've been there myself. And I'm not going to talk about the people. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, what about the ones mooching the system? What about the guy buying his box of fudge rounds? Well, I'm not going to go there because it's the people at the top, the corporate welfare at the top mooching the system that is the problem we all face. That's the real problem. So I'm not going to sit and pick on the dude trying to get a box of fudge rounds. But what people need to understand is they're sitting back on some sort of government assistance or some sort of government dependency, and they're bashing other people that's on it, and they're buying into the rhetoric of politicians who's trying to take it all away. They're completely biting the hand that's feeding them, literally. They're voting against their own interest, and they don't even see through it. They don't even realize that they're being conned. These people don't have their best interests at heart at all. They're going to fight to take away any safety net you have, any raft that's thrown your way to try to pull you up out of the drowning water. They're going to take that away from you. And they're going to laugh in your face, and they're going to give it to a rich dude so he can go buy a yacht and so he can go buy a golden sink and stick it in Mar-a-Lago. I have literally argued with people in my part of the world about government assistance, only to find out later that they themselves were on it. I've wasted so much energy arguing with people like that who will sit here and try to act like they're John Henry, the still driving man. And then later I find out, well, hey, the whole time they was literally drawing money out of all three states. They had an address in all three states and was getting money out of all of them, and you were sitting there arguing with them. That's the kind of conversations that I've had with people. And they will sit back and they will make these racist jokes and they will blame it all on other races of people, and they think that the other races of people are their problem. And they don't realize that it's the people at the top that is turning them against everyone around them. They'll come to my part of the world and they'll say the black man's your problem, the immigrant's your problem. They'll sit and paint every book. They'll create every boogeyman they can and say that's your problem. And that resonates with a whole lot of people who are struggling and can't figure out how to get ahead in the world. So they'll fall for it and buy into it because they don't realize that they're being played. And a lot of them will get mad at me, and a lot of them will be upset that I've said these things and that I've went there. I can hear people now, don't go there, Brando. Well, the reason I'm going there at the end of the day, do you want to know why I'm going there at the end of the day? It's because I love people in my part of the world. They're flawed. They have a lot of flaws. They have some humiliating, embarrassing, hateful flaws at times. But the majority of the people around here are good people. They're good-hearted. A lot of them's misguided, but they're good-hearted, and I care so much about them that I'm trying to get through to them to say, hey, you're being played. You're being screwed. Stop blaming your problems on the people around you that are struggling too, just because they look different than you. Stop blaming those people for your problems and focus on the real enemy. That's the people at the top that is milking our part of the world dry. They have milked this part of the world dry for years. And they've done it with People like me, people that I grew up with, people that I was raised up with that can't see through it, that will fall right along with it. And they don't see it. There's an old saying, those that don't study history are doomed to repeat. And that's exactly what's happened, because if people in my part of the world had studied the history and realized how the carpetbaggers came down here and how they took from us and how they milked our part of the world dry. They blew the mountaintops off. We could go here all day long. They dug for the coal, just like the old John Prine song. They dug for the coal till the land was forsaken. They wrote it all down as the progress of man. That's what happened. And they got people in my part of the world cheering them on. People in my part of the world riding around, if you don't like coal, don't use electricity. I'm a friend of coal. Your granddaddy wasn't. Your granddaddy wasn't no friend of coal. Your granddaddy was a slave to it, and he knew it. Go study the Battle of Blair Mountain. Read about the Harlan County Wars and come back to me. Before you get mad, go study your history and realize where we come from and realize how we're being played. I love people in my part of the world. I love this part of the world. I just want to see it do better. I don't want to see it falling for the same old rhetoric. I'm so tired of seeing it fall for that same tired, racist-ass rhetoric that does nothing but drive us backwards. It does nothing but take society backwards, and that's never where we're supposed to go.